Listen, those are all-time great players. You have the second, the third, the fifth, the fourth, and the eighth greatest player ever. So in and of itself, you would say, oh, it's not a terrible top five. But it's like ranking elements in order of importance and not including oxygen. Like, no one's got anything against argon, but if you have it on the list and not oxygen, you might either be an idiot or you might have some biases. I wouldn't be rude enough to call Paul Pierce an idiot, so instead I'm just going to give you a little history lesson as to why Paul Pierce is so wounded by LeBron James. In 2008, when LeBron James was 23 years old, the Cavs played the Celtics in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. LeBron dropped 45, 5, and 6, but the Celtics won, and Paul Pierce played the single greatest game of his career, 41, 4, and 5 in a Game 7. That, by the way, was the last Game 7 LeBron James lost. The Celtics then knocked LeBron out of the playoffs again a couple years later, his final game in Cleveland. From that moment forward, LeBron James wrecked single-handedly the end of Paul Pierce's career. 2011, Game 5, Eastern Conference semifinals, 87-87, Pierce guarding LeBron. LeBron scores 10 consecutive points, including 2 wildly disrespectful threes right in Paul Pierce's eye to send the Celtics home. 2012, after Paul Pierce said some wildly out-of-pocket things to LeBron during Games 4 and 5 of that series, Game 6 in Boston, LeBron has the single greatest game of his career, 45, 15, and 5. Paul, by the way, was 4 for 18, and that was the end of the Big Three in Boston. 2 years later, Paul Pierce is on a team that was built to take on LeBron's Heat. Remember that Nets team? KG, Paul Pierce, going to sign Darren Williams, got a Russian oligarch who's spending all this money. The Nets are down in the series to LeBron's Miami Heat, and Paul Pierce says, folks, I got to guard LeBron. I got the most experience. I need to take him on. LeBron drops 49 points on his head. Up to that point, LeBron's career high in a playoff game. And that was the last relevant moment Paul Pierce had in the NBA.
Paul Pierce's default setting is laughter. So everyone is so mad on Twitter, Paul is laughing at you. He's just friendly and nice. So he is laughing while you guys get so mad. Secondly, to anyone who is saying Paul Pierce only won 1 championship, who is he to say? It's not you, Nick. I'm really going at the people on Twitter. Paul Pierce is a finals MVP. In the history of the league, in the history of the universe, there's only been 31 people that have won that award. So just draw a comparison. There's been, and Dusty looked it up for me, 566 people who went to space. Okay? 31 MVPs and 566 astronauts. So while you can certainly have an informed opinion and even a debate about your list of favorite planets, you can't look at the astronaut and say, you've only captained a spaceship 1 time. What are you talking about? And thirdly, and Greg, then I'll throw the ball to you. I actually think the fact that LeBron beat Paul so much makes Paul's argument more legitimate. And here's why. He could very easily take the Barkley route on this. He could say, you know why I didn't win more championships? Oh, greatest player of all time. That's why it would be good for Paul to say LeBron was the best. But he doesn't. He's just honest from his perspective as a finals MVP. That's my take.
Here's, to me, the more important element of this, because I've noticed this post-Jordan doc. The folks that are on the LeBron side of the argument don't ever do to Jordan what the Jordan folks do to LeBron. Nobody is out here, the folks that, like me, that believe LeBron's the greatest player ever, no one ever says Jordan is anything worse than second, maybe a few thirds out of respect to Kareem. But the Jordan folks out here saying, like, listen, LeBron's just a healthier Tracy McGrady. LeBron's lucky if he's top 10. LeBron is, you know, Ray Allen had to save him. Kyrie had to save him. And these folks, nobody does it to Jordan. Nobody does it to Kareem. It's a weird thing, Wilds. We're seeing post-Jordan doc being like, LeBron, is he actually in the top 10? Let's look at it. That's something that only happens to him, and it strikes me that it comes out of insecurity from others, Wilds.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.